Hello everyone, welcome to the second episode, and today we are going to talk about self-awareness. First, let us explain what is self-awareness. Self-awareness is knowing and accepting things that make you who you are. Things that make you who you are values, and then we've got aspiration and characters. When we talk about values, aspiration, and characters, these are virtues that escalates one's esteem. And then we've got importance of self-awareness. One, it enhances interpersonal relationship. When I talk about interpersonal relationship, I mean you do not pretend to be who you are. You just be who you are. Because if you know yourself, you identify your strength and your weakness. You find yourself fighting a lot to boost your weakness so that you can operate at the same level with your strength. And then number two, we've got enhanced self-achievement. When I talk about self-achievement, I mean that as a person you must be having goals, and in life somebody or someone must be having vision. When you achieve vision, if you've got a self-awareness, it will assist you to focus on the vision and goals and enables you to achieve. Then lastly, we've got promoting high self-esteem. Once you have a self-awareness, once you identify who you are and your values, strengths and weaknesses, you will have self-esteem. In fact, high self-esteem, because you've accepted who you are and you know your strength. Factors that influence self-awareness. One, we've got religion inclination. Religious inclination. This talks about, as in every religion have got different doctrine that spells out individual's role and relation to spring being. You understand that the spring being is our God. So we have to strengthen our relationship with God so that He can elevate our self-awareness in one way or the other. So before you do anything, maybe when you happen to wake up in the morning, you just have to pray so that you can ask God for intervention to your daily course. Then number two, we've got personality type. Personality type. Some are outgoing while others are reserved, and therefore you identify yourself as with either group. When you are outgoing, this is an individual who comes out and shows the strength that he is possessing, and he shows the internal power. He is not afraid of the environment or what can confine him. And we've got this other person who is reserved. So you're supposed to identify yourself, which kind of a person are you? Are you the reserved one, or are you outgoing? We've got social cultural environment. Social cultural environment, which include gender roles, and then language we speak. And then we've got how we conduct ourselves. This is social cultural environment. The social is all about the relationship with those people who are surrounding us. Now, the language that we are using to speak to those people who are around us, how we are dressing, the mode of dressing, it also defines who we are. And then four, we've got economic status. You view yourself in the future due to the current economic status. You are not supposed to confine yourself because of the current economic status that you are in. Maybe let's assume that you are a student, you are not in a position to earn cash, and then you find yourself broke. Don't confine yourself and thinking that maybe that situation will remain to be there permanently. Remember that there's nothing under the sun which is permanently, but these other things are temporary. Then we've got socializing agents. Socializing agents, these are groups or institutions. Then we've got friend, and then we've got family. It's from them that we learn about ourselves and our roles and responsibility. Then remember that you cannot understand yourself easily unless you are being told by somebody. Maybe if you want your talent to be identified, somebody will tell you maybe you are good at this and then you are bad at this, and then from their views you will get to understand which position or at what point are you able to do it at the perfect level, and at what point are you not to perform bestly. And then managing self-crisis. We've got something that's known as self-crisis. Let's look at it. Self-crisis, this is the state in which the individual is confused about who or she and what role he is supposed to play in the society. Let's now look at the characteristic of people with self-awareness. this crisis. One, they constantly ask themselves of the role and the expectation. But you know that one is something that somebody is supposed to be aware of, and the expectation, the result out of what they are going to do. This is not something that you're supposed to be questioning, but you have to understand your roles and mark the boundaries where you're supposed to operate within, and then you're supposed to identify the expectation, the result of what you are going to engage in. Behaving like a famous personality. You know, when you start behaving like a famous personality, you will lose self-awareness. You're supposed to imitate or emulate and learn something, not that you behave wholly like the same person who you are looking after. Just learn the characters, then learn the virtues about the person, and you start now working on your weak area so that you can perfect and maybe you outsmart him or her, not doing the same way the way he or she is doing. Then we've got acting or dressing in a manner that is associated in an opposite gender. As a male, you must put a distinction in your dressing code. You must dress as a man, and if you are a woman, you must dress as a woman. Then we've got behaving like a small child, even though if one is an adult. We've got those people who are mature. Yes, if you look at them, they are sounding too mature, and if you look at them, they look like the grown-ups. But what comes out of their mouth is so kiddishly. They talk like kids. They cannot even say something that can assist somebody or give direction, or you cannot learn one value or virtue from his speech. Then we've got ways of managing self-crisis. One, seeking support from significant people. You have to seek support from significant people, and you will only seek support if you've identified that you've got this crisis. Then second thing, improving self-esteem. Remember that in the first episode I talked about self-esteem and how we can improve. We've got Google, you can search how you can improve self-esteem. You can review my video on how you can improve self-esteem. And then we've got carrying out self-assessment. Sometimes it's too prominent that you just sit down alone and then you start asking yourself some question to find out what do you love, what you hate, and what you're supposed to engage in, or what builds you and what breaks you. Then we've got peer education where necessary. Where we are considering peer education, meaning that you must be in a group that is very influential, positively, not negatively. Mark my words. It's supposed to be positively. You will engage yourself in a group of people who are having the same mind, who are having the same vision like you. They will boost you and they will make you to realize who you are, and during that moment you will find yourself understanding who you are. And then lastly, we've got guidance and counseling. You're supposed to look for guiding and counseling from those people who are professional in that sector. Guiding and counseling, you must visit those people who are above you at age, and then maybe you just have to inquire to those people who have gone through certain circumstances or certain experience, and they will be the best teacher so far to tell you. Values that promote self-awareness. One, we've got love. Work towards improving yourself than becoming like someone else. It's just high time that you appreciate yourself according to your own strength and weakness. Don't look at somebody else and maybe consider him to be better than you. You are the best at your own version. Then you've got two, honesty. You're supposed to be honest, being consistent, faithful to yourself. Just be faithful to yourself, believe in yourself, and then be honest to yourself. Then we've got number three, respect. Then respect, self-respect is core. Especially where you respect yourself, you will control everything and every activity that you engage in. Because if they are activities that will not help you to move to next level, if you've got self-respect, you won't engage in them. Then we've got peace. Enable one to avoid and resolve any issue that might be having internal conflict. Remember that an internal conflict is the worst thing that you can allow yourself to be found in. Internal conflict, it will eat you as a person. Remember that you will be fighting with yourself, not any other person from outside. So if you cannot find guidance, if you cannot seek for assistance from outside, from those people whom you love and you consider them to be very prominent to you, maybe you might end up perishing internally. Remember that internal conflict is the worst thing that you can allow yourself to find in. You got responsibility. When you are responsible, you understand your roles and ensure that you carry them out as required. You don't allow somebody to oversee you, or you are not that kind of a person who is looked after or guided or being stand for and maybe asked or questioned or pushed to do something that maybe will benefit yourself. So if you are responsible, just be responsible at everything that you are doing.